The youth in Morocco all describe a very ambitious path for the near future and after graduation. Many students, both in public and private institutions, express interest in going abroad to Spain or France to obtain master's degrees after graduation. They all express the same notion of having better opportunities abroad to further their goals, and some express notions of wanting to come back afterwards, with very few expressing hints of not wanting to come back after finishing their degrees. The current pressures for most students in both private and public institutions are finding internships, as they are mandatory for part of the curricula. Those who attend the private institutions have an easier time finding internships as they have more family network and connections, while students in public institutions describe finding internships as sending multiple emails hoping for a response, networking with professors, and forging their own paths. Many Moroccan students and youth still hold very traditional views, beliefs, and values, but believing in furthering rights and opportunities for women in the country. Much of the youth is not opposed to having a king, and some agree that a king must always be part of Moroccan history and future. A rare insight provided us a look at a socialist Moroccan youth, describing attending many protests that were organized online and believed that our generation and future generations can and will bring change to the corruption that occurs hidden behind closed doors. Much of the entrepreneurship on the ground from students was mainly service-based or humanitarian-based. One of the students interviewed was an urban studies major who created an Instagram page and brand to spread awareness about the urbanization and gentrification of Morocco. Another pair of students started their own Lion Club International on their campus to provide humanitarian services to those in need in Morocco. Creating their own club on campus was a hassle with a lot of paperwork and approval forms before being able to officially launch the student organization. Getting people involved is also another challenge, with students having other commitments. But once a small group of people get involved, that is where the fun officially begins. What surprised us about the youth in Morocco was their true love for their country. Despite the hardship that they each describe and have dealt with, most of the youth has the desire to come back after finishing their study abroad. The biggest difference between the cities were the youth and the opportunities provided. In Casablanca, opportunity seems to be everywhere, but in Rabat, it was calmer and more relaxed.
Before coming to Morocco, I thought I was pretty open-minded. I knew that every society is complex and that stereotypes are usually wrong. But throughout this program, I realized that knowing that intellectually and actually confronting my own assumptions are two very different things. One of the biggest moments for me was talking with my host mom about religion and government. I expected an older Moroccan Muslim woman to have a very conservative view. Instead, she talked about how religion should not play as large of a role in government as it sometimes does, and even mentioned that people of other faiths can be effective leaders. What stuck with me was not her opinion itself, it was the fact that I was surprised by it. Why was I surprised? Because somewhere in my mind I had created a picture of what an older Moroccan woman was supposed to think. The conversation forced me to recognize that I had reduced a person to a category before I even got to know her. The lesson was not that Morocco is more progressive than I thought. The lesson was that I still making assumptions about people based on age, religion, and nationality. Another moment came from interviewing students. Many of them passionately argued that women should be educated, independent, and capable of supporting themselves financially. Then, some of those same students would say that their father is the head of the household and has final say. At first, I viewed this as a contradiction because I was interpreting their answers through my own cultural framework. In the United States, independence and equality are often discussed together. But these students did not see those ideas as conflicting. The realization made me question how often I assumed that my understanding of concepts like equality is universal. The moment that challenged me the most was at Hassan II Mosque. The tour guide spoke about Christianity with genuine respect. I immediately noticed how unexpected that felt to me. The more I reflected on it, the more uncomfortable I became with my own reaction. I realized that I unconsciously expected some level of hostility, not because of anything I had personally experienced, but because of the messages I absorbed over time about Muslim and Christians being fundamentally opposed to one another. The guide's kindness exposed the bias I did not know I was carrying. What Morocco ultimately taught me was not that my assumptions were completely wrong. It taught me how quickly I make them in the first place. The most meaningful part of this experience was realizing and understanding another culture starts with being honest about the lens which I view it.
Communicating across language barriers could be challenging at times. You'll quickly learn that nonverbal communication, such as hand gestures, play a large role in communicating when there is a language barrier involved. Luckily, Moroccans are polyglots, which means that they speak and understand multiple languages, so some of the people who are fluent in either Spanish or French have the opportunity to speak with individuals who know other than Arabic or English. Typically in the Medina, salesmen will try to speak to you in a couple of different languages just to see which one you understand. The diversity of languages in the country was one of the things that makes Morocco so beautiful. Throughout the course of the program, there were multiple changes in the schedule, but this helped us with learning how to become more comfortable with the unknown. Sometimes everything doesn't go as originally planned, and that is okay. Some of the most memorable experiences in the program came from adapting and changing to the schedule. I think that everyone has taken a lot from living with their host families and had experiences that we will all remember forever. Living directly in the Medina with people who are native to Morocco gave us the opportunity to gain deeper understanding of the culture and customs that we would have never fully gained from learning in a classroom or living in a hotel. We all formed bonds with our host families, and it was clear how sincere they were and how much they truly cared for us. Honestly, coming to this trip, it wasn't expected that we would miss the dynamics of living with people we had only known for 10 days. Living with these families gave us a first-hand look at how religion plays a role in their day-to-day lives, which prompted everyone to gain more cultural awareness, especially during prayer, which is something that will stick with us forever. Talking to people from different backgrounds, whether it be from a different city or ethnicity, will trigger empathy, understanding, and a willingness to learn from people who are different from oneself.